to my kitchen. I am Chef Alex, your Pink Cuisine chef in Chicago. Today we're going to be making some Venezuelan arepas. So the first restaurant I worked at was Venezuelan. An arepa is basically like a cornmeal pita using pre-cooked white cornmeal, water, and a little bit of vegetable oil. So let's get started. So arepas are made with a pre-cooked white cornmeal. It's also called masa arepa. It's different than regular cornmeal in that it's a little bit finer grind, and it's partially cooked so that the cornmeal will absorb a different amount of water than kind of a regular cornmeal would. It's carried in mostly some of the smaller Latin markets, but some of the larger chains have also started carrying it. The brand we're going to use today is called Pan. They have a yellow bag that's intended for arepas, and then they also have an orange bag that's usually used for cachapas and other traditional Venezuelan dish. The instructions for making arepas are actually on the back of the bag. So today we're just going to do 2.5 cups of water, about a tablespoon of vegetable oil, 2 cups of the masa arepa, and then about a teaspoon of salt. So we're going to take our pan arepa cornmeal, put it into a large mixing bowl, and we're going to create a well in the middle, similar to how we did with the pasta dough last week. Then we're going to take our water and pour about half of it into the middle of that well. And then we're going to slowly incorporate the liquid into the cornmeal. And once that first batch of water gets incorporated, we'll start adding the rest of our water. And then we'll mix it until all of the lumps are gone. And then once the cornmeal is mixed, we'll let it sit for about 5 minutes so it can finish absorbing the liquid into the cornmeal to make our dough. So once you've let your dough rest for about 5 minutes, we're going to check the texture on it to make sure it's ready to go, and then we'll start forming. So first you just kind of want to break a piece off, roll it around into a ball. You shouldn't leave too much of the dough on your hands, but it should be nice and pliable so we can start shaping. So we're going to make about 3-inch wide arepas, so this will make about a dozen. Typically you can make larger arepas, but we want to try out a few different fillings, so we're going to make them a little smaller. Then off to the side here, I've just got a little bit of vegetable oil. We're going to use that just to kind of wipe around the edges of the arepa so that they don't dry out when we start to cook them. And you want to make sure that the thickness is relatively consistent so they cook up evenly. And that's it. So we've got a preheated griddle plate. If you don't have a griddle plate, you can use just a regular saucepan. We have it at about medium to low heat to start them. So we're going to add a little bit of canola oil. And we're going to take our arepas and just kind of press them on. They will sizzle a little bit as they cook. And then, so what we're looking for is a nice golden brown color on each side. And then as they cook, they'll actually start to leaven from the steam and create kind of a pocket in the center. So on each side, they'll cook for about 7 to 8 minutes, depending on kind of how thick you got them. Ours are a little under ½ an inch thick or so. I found that to be kind of a nice size once you fill them. They're not too stuffed. They're filling. So we've flipped our arepas. Next we're going to work on one of our fillings. So this is going to be one of the more traditional arepa fillings in Venezuela. It's called the Reina Pepiada. It means the curvy queen. Basically what it is a chicken salad. And then we're going to put some slices of fresh avocado in it when we're actually filling the arepas. So first we're going to start with some chicken breast or tenders. We've just simmered them in water and salt, lightly pulled them. And then this is going to be a little bit more of a South American chicken salad, so we've actually got our lightly steamed carrots and peas. We have some fresh chopped parsley, a little bit of shallot, and then our dressing. So our dressing is going to be mayo, mustard, a little bit of Worcestershire, and lime. You can kind of use your own ratios and your own recipes for chicken salad. I know a lot of people don't like mustard. So once we have all of that in our mixing bowl, we're going to toss it together. We're going to add a little bit of fresh cracked salt and pepper. Alright, let's check on our arepas. So after our 7 or 8 minutes on each side, we're going to check to make sure that they're done. Basically what you're looking for is to make sure that the edges no longer feel like kind of softer raw dough, and that we have kind of a nice crispiness on the top and bottom. If for whatever reason they feel a little under, you can continue cooking them, or you can throw them in the oven for a couple of minutes just to kind of finish the outside. What we're going to do now is we're going to pull them and let them sit for a couple of minutes before we cut them open and peel them. You want to make sure to let them sit so you don't burn yourselves, as the top and bottom have been basically frying in oil, so they're going to be really hot. So now that our arepas have rested, we've got all of our fillings that we're going to be working with today. So we have that reina pepiada chicken salad that we made. We have our sliced avocado. Then I made another somewhat traditional Venezuelan filling, which is pulled chicken, caramelized onions, roasted peppers, and we're going to put a little cheese in it. So for the arepas, what you want to do is take a paring knife and insert it on one side, and then just kind of carry the knife over 180 degrees. And when you open it up, it creates a nice little pocket. Because they're hot, they are going to steam a little bit, so you just want to be careful again that you don't burn yourself. We're going to go ahead and pre-cut the ones that we're going to use now, so that some of the steam will escape by the time we go to fill them. And that's it. Thanks for stopping by today. Hope you all enjoy the video and you get to make some arepas at home.